I want to ask you or tell you something just on a personal note. So before October 7th, how did I think I first saw you on some podcast or something that you were doing. And the reason why it caught my eye, so to speak, is that at the time I was losing my eyesight due to a very rare disease. And now I'm considered legally blind. And at the time, it was very disheartening. And it's very easy when something like that happens to someone in the middle of their life to just like give up and just like,
Mm.
you're not going to see anymore and life is going to be totally different. And I saw you on some podcast when you were talking about this entire younger generation that just wants to be a victim. And this was your
Mm.
main, I don't remember exactly the context, but it doesn't really matter. You were putting out there that there's a sort of yearning by young people to show how everyone's
Yeah.
a bigger victim than the other.
Yeah.
And I was listening to you and I said, I have all the reasons in the world to be a victim because I'm a
Mm.
victim of life. But and you were saying how bad it is. I don't remember I just have to like tell you how appreciative I am of you at the time.
Thank
I'm
you.
and I'm happy that I can tell you this personally because
Thank you. It
in a
means a great
way,
deal. Thank you.
what?
That means a great deal to me. Thank you.
So in a way it gave me a sort of, I'm not going to let this be. And I got
Hmm.
married and I have three children and I work in a print newspaper without seeing. I think I'm the last one, I'm the only one in the world that can do this. And so I wanted to thank you, and maybe you can just talk about, just to finish off our conversation, about just why, and maybe tie that into anti-Semitism also, because I think it has to do. When everyone's looking why they're a victim, they're looking for who's making them a victim.
Yes, yes, that's absolutely true. Um, I wrote about this a couple of books back in the War on the West, because I some years ago came to the conclusion that perhaps it's a rather grandiose point to make, but let me bear with me. Perhaps the greatest division uh, between human beings is between those who live lives of resentment and those who live lives of gratitude.
Yes.
I partly came to this conclusion through reading Nietzsche very carefully, because he makes the brilliant observation in The Genealogy of Morals that uh, people of resentment need somebody to stand over their life and say, someone has ruined your life, somebody has wrecked your
Yes.
chances, and the person is you. Which is about the worst thing anyone can be told and the hardest thing for anyone to take in if it is the case. But one of the things I just noticed in my own life, and fairly considerable travels around the world, is that you meet people often who have a lot or everything, who are incredibly resentful people. And you also meet people who have nothing, who live lives of grace and gratitude.
Yes.
And I've found this for many years to be a deeply perplexing and inspiring problem, an issue. And I think everybody joining us will probably know of both types of person in their own lives. You either live a life of resentment, and anything you don't have or that's gone wrong or has been difficult is someone else's fault, and they're keeping you down. And of course, the Jews are perfect in
Yes.
size and number and prominence to fill in that for any low IQ person, and some are high IQ ones as well. But the thing of being able to live in wonderment and gratitude is a gift that transcends any socioeconomic or other situation. And I think there has been an indoctrination of people into resentfulness, and I would like to turn that around and say just the whole thing's such a bloody miracle. It's so astonishing that we're here at all and have the opportunities we have. And I I just have never taken for granted, for instance, living in peace. It's one of the things that when you live in the realm of war, you have a special respect for.
Yes.
But lots of people who have only known peace have no idea how lucky they are and how rare this has been. And that's why the instinct to tear it all down, burn it all up, and then see what's on the other side is so lamentable.
Yeah.
Because on the other side of that, I know from history and observation what the likely outcomes are. So yes, I think to a great extent, but of course, one other ride on that. Never forget that the resentful person will be, among other things, resentful towards people who are grateful.
Yes.
They
And
will hate
yeah.
the person of gratitude
And can I
because
just tell you lastly one
yeah,
thing that, as you were saying, I was thinking of that you live in New York, or at least you said you were in New York State, and the mayor of New York City, who's probably going to win, his entire shtick
mhm.
is resentfulness. His
Yep,
entire campaign is saying to people, "The system is against you. Vote for me.
yes,
I will be against the system for you." There's
yeah,
literally nothing of him, anything of his campaign that I've seen that says I'm grateful for living in America. I'm coming from Uganda. My father has this great Columbia professorship. And it's like the only thing that he's selling is for people to being resentful, and the
yes.
younger generation is buying it. It's so sad.
Well, I couldn't agree more. There are lots of people like Mamdani, lots of people who've done the same shtick, lots of people who have the same problems of understanding, which he obviously has. Um, it's tough.
Yeah.
I believe that, I mean, like New York is wildly expensive. It makes London seem cheap. Maybe the only city in the world as expensive as Tel Aviv. Um,
Yes.
you know, the thing is, there's no right to live in a great apartment in Manhattan, and it's always been expensive. It's always been a difficult city, and unfortunately, a lot of people can't make it, don't make it. But that's fine. There's plenty of, you know, places that are great, and New York just happens to be very expensive. But if you say to people that, it's not as popular as saying we need to make New York an affordable city, and we'll do that by rent controls and free supermarkets and things. I
Yes.
mean, yeah, but uninformed young people might well fall for that, and some older people who should know better as well. I hope they don't.
Yeah.
There's some other good candidates, but it looks like Mamdani will be mayor, and of course, the anti-Semitism is in
Yes.
there as
That
well.
always goes along with it. It's like like you said, the omni cause. I would just say that my father lives in New York, and I think that Jewish people in New York, especially people that grew up like me, I was a Hasidic Jew with the hat, the jacket, the beard, the whole thing. I would say that it is already dangerous, I think, in a lot of places to go like that. And I would say leave to Florida. What do you have to,
Well, I think that's what a lot of people will do.
yeah,
I think a lot of people will do that.
yeah.
And it'll be to the detriment of the city. There'll be a brain drain, a money drain, and yeah. But that's why people should turn out and vote for someone else.
God willing. Douglas Murray, I know we're taking up a little bit more than we said, but I really appreciate everything that you did. Your book's amazing. We're
Thank
going to tell our audience to buy the book. Our Hebrew speakers will get to read this in Hebrew in Globes. So go read that in Hebrew if you're better at that. And we'll have subtitles and everything. So really appreciate your time with us. You're an amazing
thank you.
person, an amazing ally. And I really appreciate everything you've done for me personally and for all of us here. So thank you so much.
Well, I appreciate you. It's been a great pleasure to have this opportunity. So thank you.